911, do you need police, ambulance, or the fire department? Hello? Hello? Hello, 911? Hi Richmond, it's E-Comm here, just transferring an open cell phone line. Yes, with just party music heard in the background, no distress. So a lot of times when I've called people back and I ask them what happened, they say that they pre-programmed 911 in their cell phone. That would be my number one recommendation, to not do that. Just because it's very simple to pick up the phone and dial 911 when you actually need it, as opposed to your pocket dialing it. So don't pre-program 911. If you do happen to come through to 911 by mistake, stay on the line to let the call taker know that you're okay. Otherwise, we do have to call you back, try to find your location, and again, wasted resources that could be used for an actual emergency. So
I've had a lot of calls from Rogers Arena. I've heard puck drops. I've heard the announcements come on about people in seats and stuff like that for the hockey games. I actually heard Richard Loney singing at one of the Canucks games, singing the national anthem. We kind of all had a good laugh about that. I've heard raves over at Pacific Coliseum, dance, loud music. We know we have to call them back, but we know that nobody's going to answer. Those calls are sometimes the worst because you hear bad things about raves and people being in trouble, but when they don't answer, they don't answer. There's nothing we can do.
It is a huge problem. I would say almost half of my calls are pocket dials, and when there are people trying to get through to 911 that have actual emergencies, it can be frustrating having all these pocket dials and there be no emergency on the other end, and us having to call them back and make sure everything's okay and not getting an answer on call back. There's been someone driving in a car and you hear music in the background, people just having a conversation, maybe kids playing in a park. I know when you're at a club because I get to hear the loud music blaring in my ear. Sometimes even more intimate moments with people. To please safeguard your phone. Don't stick it in your pocket or have 911 pre-programmed into your phone. Just make sure that you watch that you're not pressing on buttons because it will dial automatically. And if you do happen to call into 911 by accident and you notice that you have, we ask that you please stay on the line.
What we're doing is reaching out to the public and increasing the level of public awareness about the impact of pocket dials and these types of abandoned calls that come in, and what it does in being able to tie up our resources in an area where we could avoid it. That increased level of public awareness will really help us go through and be able to make a difference. So asking the public for their help will really help us be able to control this problem. In addition, what we want to be able to do is to reach out to other organizations, industry groups, manufacturers, and encourage them to be able to make changes to their products that will help to avoid these fraudulent calls being able to come in unnecessarily, which is really, in many cases, not directly intended by the owner of the device, but it's just the way the devices are manufactured.